Happy Thursday and welcome to All Things Considered, the podcast that gives you all sports all year from all angles. I'm your host, Al Scott. With me today, I have a pair of Clovis West girls basketball stars in Ramie, Chatman, and Ryleigh. Forgive me how to pronounce your last name. Would you mind sharing your last name?
It's Schoonover.
Schoonover. Welcome, Ryleigh and Ramie. Clovis West has won 14 straight Central Section championships. The state record is 16. And you guys were a big part of the last two, Ramie for the last three. Ramie, I'll start with you. Can you just talk about maybe some of the joy that has come from playing for such a successful program as Clovis West?
There's a lot of memories that you make along the way within a really long season, ranging from 30 to 35 games. So just building strong connections with the seniors and those that are on the team. And me, as an incoming freshman making varsity, I didn't know what to expect. So when our senior point guard, Uriah Smith, had taken me under her wing and helped me understand the ropes, it really meant a lot to me because I didn't feel like I was just left alone. She was there every step of the way with me and helped me understand what to do and what to expect my years going forward and things like that. So the memories are really what I cherish a lot and miss from my previous teams, but just even the joy of winning. Almost all of the girls on their team hate losing, which I feel like is a better mindset of liking to win. If you hate to lose, you're gonna compete until the end, and it's gonna be a dogfight. So every win that we've had was really, really competitive, and it's really fun when everyone's dialed in and compete knows that you guys are all on the same page and you're competing at a really good level.
You mentioned hating losing. Do you think that the losses you guys had against Clovis High this year, against a team that had a very good point guard in Sadie Sin, do you guys think that maybe that helped prepare you towards the Central Section playoffs and beyond?
I definitely think so. We had beat them at their place, so they came back and beat us at ours. We knew what they were capable of. We know how they have really good players on their team, just all across the boards. We knew what we needed to do and what we needed to do to execute and just play our game. So I feel like that really fueled us to keep going and keep pushing throughout that game and not letting up and giving in. So that definitely helped feed us and just give us another push to finish out the game and leave everything that we had on the court.
Ryleigh, you're going to be a Fresno State Bulldog next year. We'll talk about that in a minute. But these last 2 years here at Clovis West, after you transferred there, can you talk about maybe the legacy that you left as a Golden Eagle and maybe some of the memories that you enjoyed?
There's a lot of memories that I enjoyed. I can go down the line for hours, but, just, all those little moments in the hotels and all the times, the travels, and especially those van rides. Those rides in the van are one of the best things that I'll never get those back. Um, and especially with Coach Campbell, he's such a fun, energetic person outside the court, and usually you don't see that from 6'7" dude that you're like, "Oh, he's a little scary." Like, no, he's such a ball of joy, and, I love him dearly, and it's just so much fun. And then the Clovis West legacy, that's something to live up to. I walking in and walking onto the court, you everyone's counting on to you to perform, and it's like all that pressure, you gotta take it in, then you gotta let it go because game's about to start. You gotta get ready to go, and you gotta perform because all these little kids are looking up to you from the feeder programs up. Like, you have to live up to the legacy and just play in the moment, and that's where you love it. That's where you start to love the game because you're like, these kids are counting on me. These parents, these all these people who just come watch the games. That's where you, oh shoot, oh, and that's where you learn to love the game.
Okay, I'm going to ask you guys another question. Getting to know each other as teammates, what is your favorite part about each other's game? So, Ramie, talking about Ryleigh, what is your favorite part about watching Ryleigh play on the court?
I've known Riley since I would say elementary school, so we've grown up playing against one another. I played on her team for a little bit, but I really enjoy how she's not gonna give up. She'll play through anything. When we played against St. Mary, she caught an elbow or knee to the nose and was bleeding out through her nose, and we took her off the court. She shoved I don't know what she shoved in her nose, but she shoved some plugs in her nose, and she came back in the game and kept playing like nothing happened, and she's just a hardworking kid, and that's what I really, really enjoy about her. Anything can happen, she'll play through it, and even when you're down on yourself, she'll be like, "Hey, it's okay." Like, she's a really uplifting person, which I really appreciate because I know sometimes I get in my moments where I'm not feeling the best about myself, or I'm constantly just not making the best choice that I could have made in that moment. But she's always encouraging me to just keep going and just forget about what's happening and just move on to the next thing because the next thing is what's important. The past is the past and you can't change it. So that's really what I enjoy about Ryleigh's game.
What do you love about watching Ramie's game?
She's definitely a very, like, in the moment intense player, and, like, you don't get that from some people. Some people are too quiet to say something. Sometimes that's me, and I'll go over and I'll, like, say something quietly, but she's, like, cutthroat, and she gets to the point, and she's pulling the best out of you. And another thing I love about her is that if you don't I learned to have my hands up, because if I did not have my hands up, the ball was going through them. So she gives some pretty good dime passes, and I love that about her.
Is she the best passer you've ever played with?
Uh, by far. By far.
So, Ramie, big news earlier this week. You got an offer from Nevada, which
Yes.
is one of the fellow Mountain West Conference schools. They also recently offered your high school teammate, Alexis Willis, I believe.
Yes.
You also have offers from Cal Baptist, UCSB, UCSD, University of Boston, and Fresno State, of course. Can you talk about maybe what that recruiting process has looked like for you?
It's something that's completely new to me and my family, so this whole entire thing has been a learning journey for us. I'm the first in my family to go to college for a sport, which is a huge blessing, and I'm super grateful that I'm able to do this, and my hard work has taken me here, and just the dedication my family's had and investment that they've had in me and things like that, and their support, it means a lot to me. Like I said, it's been a learning process for us. Everything's completely new. I'm learning a lot of new things every single time I'm getting reached out by a coach, and understanding that there's dead periods when I'm able to call a coach or things like that, and that I can just reach out to them majority of the time whenever I need via text or via email if I have questions or if I wanna hop on a quick Zoom and get some more understanding about what their program's like, what their team culture is like. But it's been a really great adventure that I'm very thankful that has been put into my life of just being able to go to school for and play a sport that I've loved since I was little. But it's very, very cool, very exciting, and just understanding the best fit for me for when I go to college. A college will check all the boxes that I needed to check and make sure I feel at home and that I feel safe in the environment that I'm going to be in for possibly the next 4 years. That's also another thing. I want to make sure I go to a school that I want to be there for 4 years and I don't have to hit the transfer portal, but just making one college my home for 4 years and just being invested and giving it all that I have and giving it all my time and just not wanting to leave one single regret in the past.
Ryleigh is maybe a year ahead of you in that process, given that she's graduating this year and she's committed to Fresno State. Has she given you maybe any advice on sort of how to handle that recruiting process?
She's helped me understand like basic, like simple questions to help understand a college, like what's their team culture like? How do you guys play? How are your guys' like practices basically focused and things like that. So she's also helped me in this as well and helped me understand like the different points, like perspectives that I can go about a school from. She's obviously given me her perspective about Fresno State and how she really enjoys it and it just feels like a perfect fit for her. Like she is happy to call that her college and call that her home. So I've gotten a lot of talk about Fresno State, but I I truly love how she's been so guiding and just understanding with me and helpful of what I should expect for my future.
Yeah, I can imagine that she would love the opportunity to play, another 3 years with her favorite point guard. But
Yes, of course.
so Ryleigh, my next question is for you. Coach McCarthy comes in his first year, and you committed pretty early in the process, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yes, I committed I can't remember when I committed, but I did commit pretty early. It was
I
early
remember seeing you
summer
at a
ball.
couple early summer ball. I remember seeing you at a couple games earlier this year and seeing you go talk over to Coach McCarthy and some of the assistant coaches. And McCarthy couldn't say your name specifically, but during one of the press conferences at the end of the year, he was very excited about some of the new recruits for this coming year, and I could tell he was talking about you. But my question for you is maybe what pulled you into Fresno State? Obviously, you're a local kid, but was there something that stood out about Coach McCarthy and maybe his vision for the program that made you choose to stay home?
It was the way he made it feel like home. He made it feel like we're gonna be your new family. We're gonna take you in. You're gonna be on this team and like we're gonna take you in and everything. And that's what I loved about it. Him and Coach Jenna, like they took me in. They showed me everything. I loved it there. I went on my visit and I absolutely loved it from the moment I stepped onto the court and to where I put that jersey on and took those pictures, like, I felt at home in that locker room, and I loved it, and also, like, Fresno State, like, it was already like home, like, and I'm such a homebody. I love being at home with my family. I'm such a family's girl. I'm such a mama's girl. Like, it was just, like it was such, like, a perfect environment for me, especially having family at my games. Like, it was just, like everything was just, like, pulling me in, and I was like, I need to be there for the next 4 years, I have to be, and, like, if I wasn't, I don't know what I would do.
Does it excite you at the idea of playing at the same art center the next 4 years and
Oh, yes,
having
for
your
sure.
family be able to come and watch you?
Mhm. I'm
Uh,
so excited, especially in a big arena like that, like, it's just so exciting.
you've played in a few big arenas. I mean, Sacramento. Does does the size of the arena, does that affect your game at all? Obviously, maybe the amount of fans can affect the game, but in terms of the size of the arena, does that affect your ability to play basketball at all?
Not when you've played a lot. I would say, especially playing at Selin, like, it wasn't the different for us, like, you definitely have to, like, I would say shoot the ball a little softer, like, when you're shooting a layup, you can't throw it off the backboard, but it's definitely the same, like, the more you play, the more you know the game, like, it doesn't change, and the sound and the everything, like, you just have to tune it out, and that's just what you learn as a player is you have to cancel out all the outside noise to just be that great player.
Are there any similarities between Coach Campbell's game plan that maybe you saw in Coach McCarthy's game plan that he's envisioned for you?
Coach Coach Campbell is very, like, a, intense coach, and he's all about ball pressure and fast-paced game, and I feel like Coach McCarthy is the same well. I've been to a couple games, I've seen the way he's played, the way he's coached, and it's very similar, I would say, and that's what I also like about it is because I'm not going from a one coach to another with a totally different system. I would say they run some similar stuff, and it's nice to be able to go into that and be like, I know what I'm doing here. Coach Campbell told me this, and it's like nice to refer back to stuff like that and not say that I'm completely ready, but I have a little jump to that. So hopefully it's a little similar.
I love it. Well, before we end this, I got some get to know you questions. The first question I have is if you're gonna have your favorite meal the night before a big game, what's on the dinner menu?
Riley, you wanna go
Or
first?
let me change the question. What's your favorite meal to celebrate a big win?
Riley, you
Because
wanna
that
go
that might
first?
change things.
I feel like a go-to place is always pizza. It's always pizza. After a
Yeah.
game,
Do you have a
pizza.
favorite? What's your go-to pizza?
Mm, I always like
I'm a
Blaze.
pepperoni and olives guy.
Yeah,
Blaze?
I would say like pepperoni, just pepperoni, salt and oregano.
Interesting. What about you, Remy?
Um,
Take me, like, to a restaurant, but If my mom's cooking, I would say her chicken enchiladas. Great celebratory meal. They hit the spot every single time. You can even ask Ryleigh. Ryleigh, we've had some for our team dinners this season, and yeah, there was none left. There was none left over, so I have to say. But we had people taking plates
I
of
was just
food
saying, yeah,
home to
there's
eat for
none
later,
left.
and I'm like, dude, you guys took all my enchiladas. But they're really, really good.
That's quite the compliment. Winning a game, would you rather have the game-winning stop on
I'd say
defense or
game-winning
hit the game-winning
stop.
three?
Yeah. Defense is really,
I
really
would say
fun
the
when you're
defensive stop.
just in their grill and making them
Yeah.
be sped up and frantic and just freaking them out is what I really enjoy the most. I really feel like I've bought into the defensive end, and understanding angles and ball pressure can really, really change games. Like they say, defense wins championships. Obviously, you score offensively, but in order to get the ball, you have to play defense. So I'd say the defensive stop.
Yeah.
Ramie, I know
Inescu?
you've met Sabrina. I'm forgetting her last name. The Ionescu, yes. Are there, besides Sabrina, do you have
I
another favorite athlete that you've
really
enjoyed watching?
enjoyed, like, for men's basketball, I've really enjoyed watching Kyrie Irving. He's someone that I looked up to since I was little. That's mine and my dad's, like, favorite person that we relate to, and we watch a lot of his reruns of when he would play and things like that. But another female athlete that I really enjoy watching would either be Paige Beckers or Caitlin Clark.
Two excellent choices.
Mhm.
I was a big Kyrie fan
Yeah.
when he was on the Cavs.
Yep.
He's bounced around a little bit. Now he's on the Mavericks. Ryleigh, the same question to you. Do you have a few favorite athletes that you enjoy watching?
My personal favorite is Cameron Brink. She played at Stanford, and then now she's at the LA Sparks. I love watching her play. I love watching her game. Like all her, not even it's not even her offense. I love watching her play defense. She's so dominant on the glass, and she's so dominant with like her blocks and everything. Like that's what she's known for, and I love watching her. And she's related to Steph Curry, so like I'm sure living up to those footsteps, like that's crazy. I love watching the both of them.
Well, before we wrap this up, I got two last questions. First is, what does your future look like if basketball is not in it?
If I didn't play basketball, I would say back at home, I used to do 4-H, and it's like where you show animals, and we used to show them at the fair, and then you would sell them at the auctions and stuff. Well, I used to do that all the time, and all my sports like took so much time. It was so time consuming. I had to leave on the weekends. I was done at night. I couldn't feed them. Like I had to have my parents feed them, and it took so much time. That was it was a big deciding factor that I had to step away from that because basketball got so serious. And I feel like I would still be showing animals to this day in like an FFA class that
If
I would
you had
still
more
be doing
time.
that, and then I would be pursuing a maybe a career in agriculture and not in something else that I would do now.
That's a hard question because ever since I was 3, I've only ever, like, been around basketball, so quite literally, my dad told me a story saying that my first steps I took led to me dunking on a mini hoop, so you can only imagine how that uh, but I definitely feel like I would have been an entrepreneur. I've always wanted to make my own clothing line and things like that. Me and my dad have talked about this multiple times from middle school to now, and basically me branding myself and putting out there, making an athletic line so athletes can rep it and just show it. And so I feel like that's where I'd go. And obviously, I was already planning on majoring in business, in finance for college. So I feel like that would also obviously help play into it. But if I didn't, I would want to also be like a sports broadcaster. So overseeing like mainly women's sports and, like or just, like, basketball, men's and women's basketball, college, pro, anything like that. I feel like that would be a really, really fun thing that I can do and just being involved and still being around sports, because sports is obviously a really important part of who I am and my family and or just love for this just for any sport.
I love it. Well, thank you again to Ramie and Ryleigh for joining me, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And thank you to everyone who's watched, and make sure to tune in to past episodes. We had Quincy Pondexter on last week, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.